Hey guys, Richard James here again, bringing you another video. And if this is your first time visiting my channel and you want to learn how to earn cryptocurrency for free, you want to learn about cloud mining sites, crypto investments and lots of other crypto related stuff, then make sure you hit the subscribe button and tag that notification bell so you're alerted to all my up and coming videos as they come online. Also, don't forget, if you enjoy the video, smash that like button. Hey guys, okay, so what are we going to be looking at in today's video? As you can see, we have a Lightning node up on the screen. So that's what we are revisiting, the Lightning node. It has been quite some time. So for all you technical people out there, obviously I've brought this back. I can't even remember the last time I actually did a video on this. But for any of you that are watching this for the first time, you're wondering what a Lightning node is, or basically you may be possibly thinking about how to build yourself a Lightning node. If you check out the bottom of the description, I will put a link to my playlist for the Lightning node, and that will give you a step-by-step video on how to build yourself a Lightning node, which is a full Bitcoin and Litecoin network node. Also as well, if you can, I'll also put a link just here, which is probably flashed up by now. Click on that and that'll take you straight to that playlist. So maybe watch that before you watch this, because basically what this is going to be is a bit of an update, looking at how my Lightning node is doing, and also some information that I left out in the original video, some settings and stuff like that that obviously people will find useful, and some hints and tips on setting up channels and getting your Lightning node earning money for you. Okay, so basically, if you're still here, what a Lightning node is basically the Lightning node network is set up as an answer to the slow processing time for Bitcoin transactions. So with the Lightning node, there's a lot of stuff that is sort of not needed, which is needed on the current Bitcoin network for transactions to go through. So basically, on the standard Bitcoin network, you might be looking at maybe 10 minutes to half an hour, or even sometimes longer for a Bitcoin transaction to go through on the blockchain. But through the Lightning network, it's done in a matter of seconds. The setting up of a transaction is slightly different, but because of that difference, it does make the transaction so much faster. This is something that they are really pushing as basically the answer to for Bitcoin to become a everyday used currency. So obviously to the point where Amazon, they accept Lightning node payments for Bitcoin. There's a lot of retailers that have got on this. It's not quite perfect yet. There's still some things that sort of need to be set up or changed for the transition to be total and everybody go, yes, that is the way to go. Obviously you have a band of people that are really pushing the Lightning network, and then you have other people that are basically saying there are other alternatives. So you've still got that battle going on, and it'll be interesting to see who prevails, whether it will be the Lightning network or it will be some other means of making Bitcoin more accessible with faster transactions and things like that for everyday use. Okay, so what we're going to do is quickly look at accessing the Lightning node, and then we'll go through some of the settings, and then we're going to go and look at an actual desktop application. Well, it's not an application, it's sort of like a browser interface that makes things a lot easier and a lot basically a bit more well, it's just basically a lot easier and quick to sort of navigate round. Okay, so let's move on to that. Okay, so to access the Lightning node as a basically very basic way of doing it, you'll be needing PuTTY. Also, as well, as always, any links that you need, such as PuTTY, various other things, you will find in the links below. But like I say, if you're at that point of you've not actually got a Lightning node, but it is something you're interested in, they're very cheap to build. They hardly take any electricity to run. I actually leave mine on 24/7. It only takes something like about 5 watts or something like crazy like that. It doesn't actually use a lot. So obviously that's another, really cost-effective way rather than running like a massive sort of PC with a, I don't know, a multiple hard drive backup for a standard Bitcoin node. Whereas with the Lightning node, it's a very small little box, as you saw on the picture, and it hardly uses any electricity at all. So anyway, so PuTTY is one of the things that you will be needing to use. So you just double click on that, run it, and then what you'd do is you'd enter the IP address of your Lightning node. When you're setting your node up, obviously the best way to do it, as shown in the picture, is buy the kit that has the little LCD screen, because that will display things like how many channels you have, how many peers you have, how many connections you have, and it will also display the IP address of your node, which is what you need to then enter into here and get things running. Okay, so let's log in. Okay, so when you come to this screen, you basically just type your login is admin. Ooh, am I working? There you go. Oh, yeah, I forgot. As you guys know, I do run these sort of odd laptops, which I got very cheaply on eBay. The one I'm currently using actually has a Polish keyboard, so I sort of forget sometimes. Okay, so I just entered that password in wrong. Okay, there we go. So we've entered in. It's just doing its bit. And there you go. Okay, so we're in the Raspberry Blitz. And so obviously you've got your standard stuff here. With funding your wallet and stuff like that, I wouldn't personally try and do it through this. I'm gonna show you the browser interface. It's a lot easier to do it through that. Okay, even sending, receiving, everything is so much easier. Admittedly, it is a beta browser interface, but it's been around for like, I don't know, 2 years or something. I mean, a year or 2 years now. So I mean, I use it. I've used it quite a lot in the past for like I say, depositing money and stuff like that into your node, and I found it very easy. I've never had any problems with it at all. Okay, so one of the first things you're going to be wanting to look at is come down to here where it says services. So we click on. When you first start up your node, this autopilot channel will be enabled. You know it's enabled because it has a little star next to it. So that will be enabled. Basically what that does is as soon as you deposit any money into your Lightning node, it will then automatically start associating you or connecting you to channels, which are the channels it believes are the best for you. I disabled this last year. I think, yeah, I'm fairly certain it was last year. I disabled it because they were saying that the autopilot, basically this option, wasn't necessarily selecting the best channels, but it was selecting the closest channels, which weren't always the best channels. So I disabled that, but I know that was something that they were looking to improve on. I am currently running version 1.2 of the Lightning Node application, or OS as it were. This is basically what you're looking at, but I've just noticed, and you probably would have seen on the picture at the beginning, there is now a version 1.3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to update that, then I'll probably enable this and see what comes of it, because obviously if it's hooking you up with some really good channels and you're making money from it, then it's going to be well worth running that. Okay, so one of the other options as well, you can run this behind Tor. This is something I've been thinking about doing for quite some time. It simply just makes you more anonymous. And obviously therefore a bit more safe, because you're not as visible. But obviously you can still interact and connect with all the other channels with no problem. Okay, so this is one you do need to, this is the interface, this is the web interface which I'm talking about. You need to enable that, and then also as well, the reason why you enable this, which is the Lightning Node Auto Unlock, is that now and again, obviously this doesn't affect everyone, but now and again, if your IP address changes on your Lightning node, which it can do, because obviously a lot of ISPs randomly change their, unless you have a static IP address, they will randomly change their IP addresses and your IP addresses. So therefore, if that happens, you can end up with your node just sitting there waiting for you to enter the password to unlock that. If you set it up as an auto unlock, no matter how many times your IP address changes, then it will always remain unlocked, and therefore it is accessible from other channels 24/7. If that locks and someone's trying to send you money or trying to route a transaction through your Lightning node, it's not going to work, because you're probably sitting there and being seen on the network as inactive. So therefore that transaction, which might have made you a few thousand satoshis, that is going to go to someone else. So I always advise to have that setting ticked. Okay, so that's pretty much that when it comes to the services. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Okay, right, so we're back. Sorry about that. Right, so like I say, so we've done services. You can connect to a mobile wallet, as it says there. I've personally not done that. You can change your name, which I did do at the beginning. If any of you guys want to connect through my Lightning network, when we go into the web interface, you'll see a QR code which you can scan to connect to my Lightning node. But there's also my public address, my public key, which you can enter in to your to the web interface, and then you can connect with me that way. Okay, so as you can see, there's a cash out, so you can basically empty your wallet. And then just obviously there's various bug tests, hardware settings, check for updates. I'm not sure if that actually works. I normally will take out the SD card that's in my Raspberry Blitz, because it's basically I have I think it's a 32 something like that, 32 or something like 32 gig or 16 gig SD card, which basically holds the operating system. I don't actually think you need one that large. I can't remember what the minimum is, but I got it just in case obviously the operating system starts just getting bigger and stuff like that. And then this one, basically I'll always say to use this basically when you set up your node. What I actually did was my power unit, or the power plug I got for mine, I made sure it had an on-off switch. So you're not just pulling the cable out to disconnect the battery, disconnect the power. Mine actually got an on-off switch. But what I would always advise is power it off here, then click your on-off switch, then disconnect your power cable. Then obviously you can do whatever you want. I mean, because at the end of the day, it's like with a laptop. If you just pull out the power lead enough times, eventually you'll end up corrupting the data on that, and therefore you've got to redo the whole operating system again. You've got to reflash it, all those kind of things. So just basically shut it down as you would a computer. Do your power off here, then switch the main. If you've bought a power lead with a switch on it, hit your switch, then disconnect it. Obviously, you'll find not all of the plugs have power switches on them. I bought mine especially, but it didn't really cost any extra. Okay, so what we're going to do that is really the things that I've just shown you are kind of what I feel are the most important things to be talked about. And like I say, if you go and check out my other video, which actually shows the building and other things on there, it will give you a more of an idea. It also gives you a really good idea on how long this process actually takes. I mean, depending on how fast your internet is. I mean, my internet now is probably about 10 times faster than it was when I actually built my node. I think when I built my node, I had to leave it for about 3 days before it fully synced with the Lightning node network. That is also another really good reason not to switch off your node, because every time you turn it back on, it has to resync. So, like I say, I have really good internet now. I've got like 200 megabits per second internet, which, I mean, that is pretty much quite standard now. Obviously, there's a lot of you out there that probably have got a lot better than that, but even with mine at the speed, I mean, I was, like I say, when I first did this, I was running at like 20 megabytes per second, so it took forever. So even if I switch mine off for a day or so, even if you switch it off for an hour, it's still then got to resync because of all the transactions that have happened in that hour. So that's another reason, like I say, not to switch off your node. Okay, so we're going to come out of here, and then we're going to basically go and check out the web interface. And I'm also going to talk to you about like finding channels, collecting peers, then turning peers into channels, all those kind of things that are just, you know, very sort of simple, be yet very important. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so before I actually go on to the web interface, this is something that you guys really want to know. See, this is essentially a manual. It's like you could print it off. I actually printed this off. Obviously, everything contained in here, or most of the things contained in here, you will see in my video. Also, as well, I have to say, I'm very sorry for the quality of the video of the making of the node. I was basically using a relatively old webcam and my mobile phone in conjunction with my laptop, so I was filming in sort of 3 different places, and in some areas the quality is a bit fuzzy, it's not great, but there is plenty enough in there for you to understand what happens, what you need to do, and how long it will take you. So do watch it. It is well worth watching. But like I say, this is also like basically a printable manual. Like I said, look, version 1.3. So this is what I'm going to be updating mine to in the next couple of days. You can see there. This obviously you guys have probably noticed that picture I used at the beginning is the same picture here. I just use it as a bit of an intro, obviously. So that's not my IP address or anything like that, and that's not my public key. But like I say, if you scroll down here, it will tell you. It gives you all the same feature overviews and stuff like that we were just checking out on my node, and it talks to you about what you need in the way of a shopping list. There is, if you go into my previous video, there are a couple of links which you can just click on, and that will take you to a kit to build this. And that will take you straight to Amazon and land you on a page with everything you need. So that's there. Or obviously you can look through here and purchase everything individually. Like I say, I'll put this obviously in the. This is what the interface looks like. But we'll go into it. So we'll actually go into my one, and you'll be able to see how it works and things like that. Okay, so like I say, I'll put the link to this in the description, and then obviously you can check it out. I would personally print it off if you can. It just makes it dead easy, so then when you're building it, you can refer to it on your lap, basically in your hand, because you'll be connecting to your Lightning node through your laptop. So unless you've got another laptop, or you're flicking back and forth between pages on your browser, it's going to be a bit awkward. So I would say print this off, and then you've just got it in your hand like a proper manual. Okay, so let's go to the interface then. Let's go to the web interface, and we'll go through stuff there. Okay, sorry, I'm just staring at this, aren't I? I just, I'm just looking at it, and I completely forgot that the video was running. Sorry, there, you probably wondered if that you'd lost sound. So basically, this is my wallet. This is my Lightning node. So this is inside my Lightning node, and this tells you everything. So this is basically what I have currently in my wallet. This is how many peers I'm connected to, and this is basically what's known as my capacity. This is what my capacity is. So the higher your capacity, the better, the more transactions and the larger transactions you can actually process. So as a rule of thumb, what they say, admittedly, I tell you, I'll be completely honest with you. Until about 2 weeks ago, I actually hadn't touched this at all. It's just been running 24/7. I've just looked at it every now and again, and I've not actually touched it. So when I say rule of thumb, it's a long while ago since I actually really started looking into this. But now they've released the new version, and hopefully, they've made some good changes. I am going to start actually using this more often, and really sort of getting into how to get the best out of my Lightning node. After all, we're processing transactions, and we're making money. So if we can do that at the cost of like 5 watts, if the Lightning network really takes off, and you've situated yourself as one of the sort of reliable, stable nodes, you will be making a really good amount of money. Obviously, at the moment, not many people are from this, But like I say, if you build up your connections, get yourself some good channels, and you're there when it does all really kick off, then, you know, you could well be quids in, as they say. So basically, like I say, the rule of thumb is what they say is having loads and loads of channels is not always the best thing, but also having only large capacity channels is also not necessarily the best thing. They say have a mixture of some large channels and have some smaller channels in there to sort of, I don't, you know, a balance. And also obviously a lot of the large capacity channels won't necessarily be sending well, the one thing with the large capacity channels, you can pretty much guarantee they are going to be hunting around for the cheapest deals. They're going to be looking for the cheapest transactions possible to route their transactions through. I pretty much at the moment have left all my settings when it comes to fees for my channel as default. But again, this is something I am going to be looking into on how to capitalize more on my node, because like I say, at the end of the day, the idea of having it is to be making money. Right, okay, so if we go in here and then we go, this is obviously my wallet, and if we go to here, this is going to be the list of transactions that I have had recently. Well, in fact, actually, I think going back to when I first opened it up, just want to check something. Yeah, we're okay. So we're at a decent. We're not too high. Okay, so all these minuses you can see here. I believe these were all. Not all of them actually, because obviously I've got a positive, I've got a plus there. So anything with a minus is obviously an outgoing. Anything coming in is an ingoing. So you can see there, I actually had a transaction for nearly 500,000 Satoshis come through. That was May this year. So I had one there for 46,000, and obviously we've got a few minuses. A lot of these minuses are to do with when I've been connecting to channels. Thankfully, the connecting fee seems to have come down. So like I say, those were fees that I'm sure I paid out to connect to channels. But my recent connection fee was only 22,000. It was actually 20,000 for the connection, but then you get fees on top of that of 2,000, basically, which is, I think, is basically me sending my money to them, and then that being rerouted through another node, so that basically the other nodes made that from me, and then the 20,000's got to its destination. So anyway, right, so this was interesting. So like I say, I hadn't done anything with it at all. Look, you can see here, May this year was the last time I did anything. In fact, I'm not even sure. That's when I must have made it. You know, for some weird reason, I was thinking I made it last year. It's just time's flown by, isn't it? You know, I mean, we're nearly at Christmas. But anyway, so if we scroll down, when's the first one? Sorry, I'm just really interested here. So the first one is the 4th of May. So I'm guessing. Oh, I'm guessing that's probably when I made I actually made the node, and this 500,000 here, I think, was me depositing that money. So, and then the rest of it is sort of transactions that I've done, signing up to channels, and then obviously the positives coming in are money I've been paid. So yeah, so basically, as you can see, I didn't do anything. I hadn't done anything at all since May, and then October. So on the 3rd of October, I noticed that my balance had gone from 28,000 up to 42,000. I thought, oh, that's good. That's interesting. And that's when basically I'd had this nearly 15,000 Satoshis deposit. So basically with that, I then connected to another channel, which cost me the 20,000 plus the 2,000 transaction fee. And then the great thing, that was yesterday, and then today I got a transaction of 18,000. So that nearly paid off my connection fee straight away. Just literally in one day, I nearly got that all back. And that's it. If you connected to the right channels, you see, I did something silly as well. In a minute, we'll go into my peers and we'll go into my channels. I actually had 6 channels, which I would have had 7 by adding this one, but I deleted one because it showed as inactive, and I just thought it's off. They've gone offline. They're no longer using it. And then I suddenly realised, because I leave mine on 24/7, and what I've realised is I think some people don't leave theirs on 24/7. So even though it's showing inactive, they are active. It's just not that. Just their node is not switched on at that time. So obviously, with say if it's a business, they might only be using or having their node active during business hours, and then they switch it off when they're closed. And that's where, and I made it because I remember, because that channel was actually one of these high cost channels, and I deleted it yesterday, and then I suddenly thought, oh, it was just like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. Right. Anyway, moving on. I'm just making you aware of the pitfalls. Okay, so like I say, so the great thing is I paid out that 20 grand, sounds good, doesn't it? The 20,000 Satoshis, and I got 18,000 back literally the next day. So that is really cool. Right, so if we go in here, we're going to my peers. So these are the people that I'm connecting with, right? So these are the peers. So these are the people that I'm looking at. Some of them are actually channels that I've basically taken on, and then some of them are I'm still just sort of looking at, and making my mind up whether I want them to become channels. So basically, the ones I have as channels are Lightning to Me, Neutron Pay, There Be Dragons here, Lightning Spin, and Inlight Core. So Lightning Slot Machine and Lightning Poker. Oh yeah, I think I have Ion Radar Tech as well. I think that. Anyway, we'll go into my channels in a sec. So basically, the way so this is one of the places that because obviously, once you've built your node, you want to know where can I find out, what channels are the best, all that kind of thing. So one of the things you need to be going, one of the places you need to be going, and I will put the links into this. Although I think the links for all of these sites are on my old videos anyway, I will put them in here. Right, okay, so this is Lightning Network Stores. Come in here. This used to be called Mainnet. They've changed it now. And the great thing with I preferred it with Mainnet because you used to be able to click on here, not on here, sorry. You used to be able to click on any of these squares and it would give you the public address. And you need the public address to enter in here. So you either have the public key or the public key with the IP port. It doesn't matter how you get it. One of those ways. So basically, you come in here. So BC Game is currently out of everyone because this shows in all sectors. So obviously, you can click on here, and it will give you. Like, you can click technology, security, clothing. But if you leave it on all, it's showing you the best nodes or channels that are right across the board on the Lightning Network. So as you saw, Lightning Spin I've got here. So that is the channel I connected to yesterday, which is a roulette type game. So you've also got Lightning Casino in third place, BC Game, which is actually a really nice website when you go on it. A lot of these are very basic. Lightning Spin is very basic. I've not checked out Lightning Casino, but that is a really nice, I tell you, that is a really nice site, that is. And it doesn't surprise me that they are number one. I actually tried connecting to these, and what it came back with, it comes back with an error saying not enough witnesses. What that generally means is that you have to open an account with them to then be able to access them through your. But I'm not looking for places to I'm not looking for somewhere to go and play casino games on the Lightning node. All I'm looking for is to hook up to channels for them to send their payments through me, and then me make money off them. That is all I'm doing. So that basically was a no-go. And like I say, you've got a lot of these other ones. I mean, you've got adult stores, you've got poker, you've got a Lightning slot machine and poker, which you would have seen both in mine, which I'm looking at. And you scroll down, but obviously as you scroll down, you have to pay attention to this number. This number is essentially what their capacity is, and like I say, you want some high capacity and you want some low capacity, but you don't want the low capacity to be so low that they're clearly not getting a lot of traffic through their site. So anyway, Lightning Network stores is one place. So anyway, so the other thing is, if you want to find their key, so you want to find their public key, so what you can do is if you come in here, so this is hashxp.org/lightning for the channel. Right, so this is, I actually totally just stumbled across this when I was surfing around, but it's brilliant because it gives you all the addresses but it even gives you addresses that are not even publicly published, so, and it gives you some really big ones as well. So I mean, so if you scroll down, you can see, so we just saw Lucky Thunder was in on the Lightning stores. Bit Refill's massive, but it very difficult to connect to them. Scroll down, and basically what you do, so I'm just trying to find one that I'm connected to, because I know that we're on here. Oh, Lightning to Me, so that's one I'm connected to, because we'll see here, Lightning to Me, that obviously that's in the peers at the moment. If we go into my channels, Lightning to Me, there you go. So we go in here, and all you do is you just click on it. What have we done with it? Oh, there you go. So you click on it, and at some point, and then basically you scroll down, and ooh, that's a bit far. Come on. Oh no. Okay, we'll just scroll to the top. Should have just left it, shouldn't I? Oh, I'm not having any luck here, guys. Ah! Oh, there we go. Okay, right. So obviously the alias is Lightning to Me. That is their public key. So that is what you would copy and then put into your peers. Right, so then what you do, once you've done that, you've put it in your peers, it's been accepted, it's been added to your peers, and then you'd come in here, and then you'd find it in this list, because obviously once it's been added, so you'd click on that, and then so you obviously will click on that. Obviously, I'm already connected, but then what you'd do is you'd add just something. So you do something like 100. Say for instance there, And what that will almost pretty much guarantee coming back to you saying it's too small, but they will tell you how much you've then got to pay, and then it's up to you whether you want to pay it. So let's pick slot machine. Yeah, I'm not going to actually add it, but so if we go 1, 2, 3, so we say 1,000. Yeah, I don't know why I always just tick this box. I don't really know why I tick that box. And then you can change your fee, I think, and stuff like that there. So then when it's added, that fee is added to it, which is your fee. But so basically you just go open. Oh, okay. So let's just forget that for the moment. So just put default as priority. Default opening priority. Channel opening priority. So then if you do this, and there you go. So it will say channel is too small. So what it's saying is the amount of money I'm willing to pay, that 1,000, is too small. So what they want is 20,000. And then then you can do that, and then like with Lightning Spin, that's what it was. It was 20,000, as you can see there. And so basically that was and then obviously that was accepted. What I've done with a few of mine is I've gone into these places like this, or this is another really good one. So what you can do, what I like with that one is, so you can get your public key, go into this one, which is Light Block Me. You can enter your public key in here, go search, and then you can click on them. So basically it tells you their capacity and stuff like that, which is basically an equivalent of $9,000. Yeah, $9,000. And then you can click on these guys, and this is what I really found useful, was if I couldn't connect with a channel, what I'd do is I'd come in here, because this actually shows you all their transactions and who they're connecting to. So what you can do then is you could come on here and go, oh well, flipping out, they've got a really good capacity. That means, and they're probably using them a lot, and then so therefore you can just then find that, like say for instance, block. You can get that, put that in, and then connect to them. So what you might find is then, if you're on the right side of things, they might then come through you to get to them. So and stuff like that. That's what I did, and I just found it was a bit of a sort of backdoor way of connecting to a channel that wouldn't actually allow you to connect to them, and it has worked. And then this is quite cool as well. So this is basically all the nodes around the world. So for a bit of fun, I can just type in my channel, which is Fargo, and then it basically. So Wells Fargo, which is what I actually named mine after, but I didn't actually realise there was a channel called Wells Fargo. But because I didn't want to call it Wells Fargo, basically because of copyright from the actual company. But I didn't realise there was actually a node anyway. But yeah, Fargo, I've named it after Wells Fargo, which goes back absolutely, sort of around about literally the time of the great cowboys. The Western, the Great Frontier. Basically, Wells Fargo were people that would buy and sell everything and anything from proper gold mining equipment, picks, shovels, axe ropes, all that kind of stuff. And obviously they're still around now, so that's what I named mine after. But obviously you can make up any name you want as you are as you're setting up your node. You can change it to whatever you want. And then you can click on, so there's Lightning to me, so that's quite cool actually. So if we click on that, we can see who they're connected to. Look at that. That is all the people that they are connected to, and I actually have them as one. I'm connected to them as one of my channels. So obviously you're sort of hoping that where would I be? Oh, there I am. Oh, you can only just see me there. That little green dot. There you go. So that just shows there. But like I say, yeah, I mean, if you click on me there, that's not me. Look, slightly less. Obviously, you can see the overlay of all their channels, and then that's me. And then obviously these are the people I'm connected to. Lightning Spin there. Lightning to me. So that's who we've just been looking at. And it's, so obviously once you get your node, you can come and look on here and see where you feature in the world of the Lightning Network. Okay, so let's go back here. So like I say, so that's how I find my channels, and then obviously that's how you connect to your channels. And then basically, obviously, if you've got your wallet, so we'll go back into the wallet. You want to add funds, yes? So you want to add funds, right? So what you got to do is, and this is so there's two ways. I can't remember which one it is. Let's have a look. Is it that one? Because normally you can tell by how the address looks. I don't think it's this one. I'm fairly certain it's not this one. Which I know you probably think, well, then why have you clicked on it? Let's have a look at the other one. It might be that one, actually. No, I think it's that one. I think it's MP2. I think it's that type. I think it's that one. I'm fairly certain it's that one. So basically what you do, and this is what I did, I basically just took that, banged it into my Bitcoin wallet, and then just sent funds direct to that address. I didn't go through the other interface that I showed you before through the Putty application. I did it all through this, and it came through absolutely no problem. And yeah, so that's the easiest way of doing it. Is simply get yourself onto this RTL interface. So basically, to find the interface on the internet, right? So that's the next thing, is you simply input the IP address of your node and then put :3000 after it. That's all you got to do. It is in the manual that I told you to print off. It is in there. But yes, all you do is you look at the screen on your node, note the so you would note the IP address here, and then all you do is put : and then the number 3000 after it into your browser address bar. It will find your node on the network, and then it will bring up that interface, and that is it. It is dead simple. Obviously, like I say, if you happen to want to connect to my channel, I'm not sure how hang on. Okay, so obviously, like I say, if you want to connect to my Lightning Network, there is the QR code, and that is my public key. So obviously, if you can just come in here into this Lightning Block Me, type in Fargo, capital letters all, and hit search, because that is my alias, and you will find me that way. So let's just check that. Oop, I've taken the caps off. Fargo, and then we go there. Oh, and it's found the other one. That's naughty. And there, oh, there you go. There I am. So then you just click on that, and then, like I say, there's the QR code, and there is my public key. If you guys want to connect to me, and obviously that would be brilliant if you did. That is pretty much it. Most of the other stuff is just standard stuff. You know, and I think I'd cover pretty much most of it the stuff I haven't talked about today in my previous video. Like I say, I will put up another flash link right here where I'm circling. That will flash up. You can click on that, and that will take you through to my Lightning Node playlist, and that you'll be able to see the original video of me building it, and then obviously I think I did an update as well after that, which told you a few bits and bobs as well. So I'm going to leave that there. I know this has been actually recently, this has probably been one of the longest videos I've done recently, but I just thought everything that I've put in here I think is what you guys have been asking me about, or quite a while ago asked me about. I'm very sorry I've not done this update earlier, but I just had, you got so many things going on, but anyway, we've done it now, and that's what I'm going to leave it there. So like I say, it's been absolutely great having you. I hope you've enjoyed the video. For those of you that this is the first time finding my channel, if you want to learn more about how to make cryptocurrency for free, you want to know about cloud mining sites, crypto investment, maybe even the Lightning node, and lots of other crypto related stuff, make sure you click on the subscribe button and then tag the notification bell so you're alerted to all my latest videos as they come online. Okay, so thanks again. Been great to have you. If you've enjoyed this, make sure you hit the like button, and I will speak to you soon. Have a great rest of your week. Take care. Thanks a lot. Bye.